Palace in Las Vegas. I'm here with Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time, who's also presenting here. I'm Dion McNeeley from Financial Freedom for the Lazy Person, and this is Dion's friend. We're here because we're going to be doing what's called LobbyCon today. So if you are in Vegas and you are at Caesars, if you're in the event, great, come and meet us in the lobby. If you are not at the event, come and meet us in the lobby before the guards. But love to see you here. The topic of this video that I want to cover with Matt the Lumberjack Landlord and Michael Zuber is what does it take to reach financial freedom? And the point of this video comes from, we're here with a bunch of investors who are financially free or on the path or are just starting. But there's also some agents and some lenders and some property managers, and I've kind of hit each one with the same question. How do you work with investors who become super lazy and never have to work again in their life and not buy a rental? What are some of your favorite excuses that we've got today here from them?
I don't make enough money. That's been consistently the worst one.
The I don't make enough money one cracks me up when they say how much they make and it's more than I pretty much ever made.
and they own a house.
And they own a house.
Yes.
Or two.
Or
They've got the condo that they go, yep.
Yeah, sure.
But no rentals. And Zuber?
I think my favorite one I've heard so far is I love my job.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you see the tear in the eye when the I love my job was the excuse? Yeah. Okay. So I think but a lot of them, gave, heartfelt longer answers because they realized we were trying to look for why don't you invest? And it usually comes down to, I don't have the money, had the money to buy a house. The gentleman that we were just talking to said I had $15,000 to put down, which is exactly what I put down on my duplex. So the idea of owner occupied or house hacking is, they talked about it. They said, "Oh, I was gonna do it. And I was gonna became never."
It's true. I think we see that far too often. We see inaction. I think we see people that think that it's going to be easy. I think we see people that don't plan to actually have a plan to actually be able to retire.
Yeah, and people can plan to save for a vacation. That doesn't seem to be a problem.
Right.
But planning to save for an investment when you're in the industry, it hurts my brain.
Yeah.
I could see some realtors, because you think a real estate agent might have choppy income. Stephan talked about when he started, he wanted to buy some rental so he could have consistent income so that he could survive the gaps without pay. But a lender that works for a brokerage that isn't all commission has a steady paycheck.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
When they're not laid off, when it goes from 6 million transactions down to 4 million transactions. So what would you, Zuber, what would you say to somebody who didn't think it was possible, but you thought, okay, this is my one chance to maybe open their mind to the idea?
Well, unfortunately, I think getting wealthy starts with the mindset. You either believe it's possible or you believe it's not. And either way, you're correct. So, but if you do believe it's possible and it's more than you want, it's just math and time. That's the beauty of getting wealthy, is once you're focused and you have daily discipline, it is simply a math formula and and duration or time. And, as long as you buy assets, inflation's a feature, not a bug. If you hold for 10 years, your chances of getting wealthy is pretty easy. You always talk about you're going to be alive in 10 years, invest like it. Unfortunately, most people invest like they're going to be alive in 10 months. Hence, they do the Disney trip or they do the vacation, as opposed to letting time compound assets. Think about, taking a penny and doubling it every day for 30 days, right? The first 20 some odd days are uninteresting. Mm-hmm. But you get to day 26, 27, it's really interesting. And that is unfortunately how wealth is built. It's not linear. It's this, compounding thing. So it's math and time.
I think I'm with both of you in the analogy that we use of the sports stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you've said many times, you're not in the convincing business. Yep. So to me, it's because all of these were me approaching them and saying, how come you haven't started? How come you don't own rentals? Right. There's no convincing them. You have to find the person who comes to us and goes, how do I start? Because I know it's possible, but what steps do I actually take?
Yeah, that's a conversation worth having.
Yeah. So I think I spend too much time reaching out and finding the
people.
Yeah,
I walk away when that happens.
Yep.
I saw.
You saw. You did. You went outside. I was like, oh, he's at the pool. It's like, okay, this conversation's boring tonight.
Yeah, I am not
Fair
interested.
enough. And I was fascinated. I was like, I don't want them to
That's
hear.
why you're in the parking lot, and I am not there.
I am in the parking lot because it does a couple of things. You might find the person that you open the mind of.
I think you have the hardest job.
By far.
And probably the most important.
By far.
I am uninterested.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I also think I'm fascinated with the arguments where they just don't see the light.
Yes.
Like they say, "Oh, I never had enough. Literally, I never had enough money to buy a rental, so I bought a house to live in with the exact same down payment to buy a duplex." That's painful.
Yes.
So what we're looking for is, if you're here in Vegas, come and hang out with us. Talk about how you're actually making choices to get you closer to financial freedom, because then the people who go, "I love my job," can still work it.
Oh, absolutely.
But they can do like Chesla, who loved her job, and then her boss calls and says, "Hey, we have a new CEO. Everybody returned to the office." And Chesla says, "I have FU money."
Peace.
And now she's over 2 years retired, just because she had options in a job she loved that she planned on staying in for another 10, 20 years.
Good for her.
So, anything we want to wrap up with?
Come and visit us. It's BPCon. Why aren't you here?
Right. And if you are here, why are you looking at your phone and not the person on stage? Have a day full of amazing.